Hello guys, it's Katie and welcome back to another video. In today's video I'm sharing with you products that you need as a crocheter or knitter, because the majority of these are not just crochet related. Alright, yes, so we have products that you need as a crocheter. Some of these are need, like they are really useful and I would recommend them to everybody, and some of these are need, like kind of a luxury to have. So just keep in mind when I'm saying you need these products, you can obviously crochet with just a crochet hook and yarn. That's all it takes, and same with knitting, but these items do make your life a lot easier, and they are things that I use on a day-to-day basis when I am crocheting. So before we get started on this video, first off, I do want to say in no way is this video sponsored by any of the products or brands I am talking about. I wish they were, trust me, but it's not. These are just things that I genuinely love and use on a day-to-day basis as a crocheter. Also, there will be links in the description box below for all the products I am talking about if you guys are interested in checking out any of that. But with that, let's just get straight into the first item I think you need. So first I'm going to start out with the things that are not super obvious, and that would be kind of the stationery products. So I'm the type of person that really likes to write things down as I'm crocheting, such as like tally marks to keep track of what row I'm on, or if I'm making my own pattern, I like to write out the whole thing so I can keep track of what I'm doing in case I want to repeat it, all of those things. So first on my stationery list is just a simple notepad and a pencil, pen, whatever you prefer. I personally prefer a pencil because especially when I'm making my own patterns and stuff, I mess up quite a bit and I end up frogging the project or frogging part of it, and I want to erase what I wrote beforehand. So pencil for me, but pen works too. And just a notepad. I love these that are really just simple. You can get these in bulk from Staples, Office Depot, all of that kind of stuff. There's also some really cute ones that you can get from like Hobby Lobby and stuff that have yarn balls on them, things like that. So really, any type of notepad is a must for me, as well as a pencil because, again, eraser. So the next couple of things, again, are stationery. So I have a notebook, which I personally don't normally do notebooks, but this could be good for, again, if you're writing patterns, if you're keeping track of rows, or if you just want to keep track of projects. You could write the title as what the name of the pattern is, and write what hook and what yarn you're using, when you started it. All of that kind of stuff I think is really cool to keep track of as well, especially if you want like future generations of your family or friends and family, whatever it is, to be able to see projects you've made. It could be super cool to keep a notebook like this and maybe print out pictures once you're done with the project of what it looks like and paste it in. Again, super cool idea, but notebooks are good for anything like that, or just the same as the notepads for keeping track of different things as you are working. So the next couple of things are really just if you like to print out your patterns, or if you're going to use like a notepad and you want to keep those pieces of paper, you could use a folder. So either way, notepad and ripping off the pages, you could put them in here, or if you print out patterns and you want a good place to store them, a folder is obviously a good option. Also, binders, again, a great option, and you can just hole punch the pages if you print out your patterns or whatever pages you have and store them in here. So again, all of these are just options to kind of keep yourself organized, but I do think they're all necessary. I don't use all of these. I really only use a notebook sometimes and a notepad, but these are all great ideas, and different things are going to work better for different people. So whichever one of these ideas you prefer, I think you should go with, but they're all great ideas. Alright, now we're on to things that are more obvious towards crocheting. Next thing I have on this list is little organizers. So you obviously want big organizers for your yarn and stuff. That's kind of obvious, but that is a must, so that could be included in this video. But I personally love little tiny organizers. So for example, I have this organizer, which I'm not going to lift too much up because everything will kind of come out of it, but there are different compartments, and I have things like stitch markers, the safety eye backings for safety eyes, yarn needles, all types of things in here. And this little organizer came from Dollar Tree. I also have this little organizer, which it actually came like this, but this is the safety eyes, and they're all in their little compartment based off of the sizing. And then I also have these two. This one again came from Amazon just this way whenever I ordered my stitch markers, and they came color coded, which is really satisfying to be honest. But also just organizers in general for your stitch markers are great because these things get lost so often. And this is another one. There's a lot of stitch markers in here. There's also for knitting needles the kind of needle caps. Is that what you call them? I'm not exactly sure. I'm sorry. But I do have those in here, as well as like a tape measure, yarn needles, and some scissors. And all of this came together when I ordered my pack of knitting needles. So these little organizers are all super great, and if you do order stuff that comes with organizers, then that's great. If the stuff you order or get does not have organizers, there's easily some at Dollar Tree, like 5 and Below, Walmart, all kinds of places like that that you could get, and I think they're really useful. Alright, my next must-have as a crocheter is a little container for my yarn needles and stitch markers that is like really compact. So nothing like this, something that's a little bit smaller that I can take on the go. So for yarn needles, I have this little jar thingy. I'm not exactly sure what to call it. This actually came with an order I did on Amazon, again with some of my yarn needles, and there aren't actually any yarn needles in here, but they do fit perfectly. And this one, what I love about it is a screw top. So this is going to stay on really well when you're traveling, versus some of the other ones you get are like a pull-off top, and that could get snagged on something and pull off. This is not coming undone unless you unscrew it. So definitely like this for yarn needles. And for stitch markers, they won't really fit in here with them, but there are options for stitch markers as well to store them in little container thingies. And again, I think that is a good idea for traveling. Another idea for traveling that I think is great is little scissor things that are really compact. So I do have these little scissors that are small, and they look like this. This one did not actually come with a cap. It came with a pack of stuff I got, but there are plenty of these that they sell at like Michael's, Hobby Lobby, all of that, that are pretty much exactly like this but plastic, and they come with a little plastic cap, which is the best option for traveling because you don't want to travel with something open like that. But this does work for around the house. Just make sure it's obviously not where any pets or kids could get to it. Now, my next thing that I think is the best option as far as like scissors for traveling is this little pendant. So it is actually like a necklace pendant that you could put a necklace or some yarn through and wear it, and then you can actually cut your projects as you go, because on the inside there is a little blade to cut yarn. It is really super easy to just like slip this in my pocket, in like the front of a bag, something like that, to work on projects with. And I feel like this would be a safe option that you could take probably like into an airport and have in your bag, and they wouldn't think it's a blade or a weapon. I mean, you can't cut yourself at all with it either. Like, I'm doing this around the blade, you can't cut yourself because the little markings are only big enough for the yarn to go through. It's not big enough for your finger to go through. So this is honestly a great idea, and this is from Clover. I'm not sure if any other brands do this, but I really like it, and it's really convenient. Alright, like I was talking about earlier, there is always never enough yarn needles, stitch markers, and crochet hooks. In my opinion, I lose all 3 of those way too often, so I'm gonna just put that here right now. Stitch markers, yarn needles, and hooks, of course, are a must-have. Now, I would say if you don't have a pack of hooks or knitting needles and you are an avid knitter or crocheter, it may be a good idea to invest in a pack that has like almost every size, just so that you can use whatever size a pattern calls for. But that also isn't necessarily needed. You can also find knitting needles and crochet hooks at the thrift store for very cheap if you are not in the market to buy a full set. But I would recommend a full set if you don't have like all of them already, or if you've just been losing them, kind of like me. I might buy another full set soon just because I've been losing them a lot recently. So that is another must for me, and I always ask for those things for like Christmas and my birthday and stuff, just because I'm always running out. Alright, you guys, another must for me is some really pretty crochet hooks. Now, this is one of the things that is more of a luxury must, but I do think you need this, especially if you've been crocheting for a long time. Pretty crochet hooks can just keep you inspired to crochet. So I have 2 here to show you from Furls. This one is a G+, which is a 4.5 millimeter, and this one is an I, which is a 5.5 millimeter. So these are the peppermint ones, so they are so pretty, and I have not used these yet, but I'm so excited to. I also have a red and white resin one that is a 5 millimeter, and I have been using that one, and it is so nice and so pretty. So I can't wait to use these as well. And I think it's just great to have hooks or needles that are really just pretty and that keep you inspired to crochet. Alrighty, speaking of crochet hooks, ones like that are definitely not going to work in here, but if you do get like the regular metal ones, I do think an organizer like this is a really good idea. You can also buy the organizers that come with the hooks. That's a great idea if you are just starting out, but I'll show you. These little organizers have little, I only have a couple of like really tiny ones in here, so don't mind that, but there are little slots here and here on both sides meant for you to put your hooks in here, and it just zips up really easily. And you could put things like stitch markers, all of that kind of in here, as long as you don't open it like this and you keep it flat when you open it. You could also store other little things in here. So again, great for travel and great for if you're gonna get like a full set to have them in one spot. All right, you guys, next thing for me is stitch markers. So you can always just use paper and make tally marks to count which rows you're on, but stitch markers are a must. Currently can't find a lot of mine, but again, they are a must, and I love the ones where you can just click and it changes, but there are also the ones where you can spin the little dial thing and it changes the number. Either way, both super convenient to track what row you're on in a project, especially when you're like me and you go back and forth with multiple projects. When you come back to another one, you may not know what row you were on, and you definitely want to know that whenever you come back to it. So a stitch counter is really good for helping you out with that. Alright, you guys, last couple of things. So I have a yarn winder here. So I can pull it out and show you guys. I do keep it in the box, but this is what it looks like. And this will wind your yarn into a perfect skein, basically. You can see what it looks like here. And it's really useful for me personally whenever I have a little bit left in the skein of yarn and I would like to make it look a little better, or just make sure it's not going to tangle on me. All of that I will use this for, to kind of give the skein of yarn shape again towards the end so that it will not tangle and all of that. But also good for if you're getting like hand-dyed yarns or really expensive yarns and you want to get them into like a ball shape so you can pull through the center. Also good for that. But love this thing, and it is not super cheap, but it's a good investment, I think, for someone that is going to be crocheting or knitting a lot. Alright, the next two things kind of go together, so I'm going to show you them together. So here are two different types of yarn bags. So personally, this is my preferred one, but this one is great as well, and I'm going to tell you what I use them both for. So this one here is just like a regular bag, but at the top it has little holes here where you can be pulling your yarn through, which makes it super nice because your yarn can be tucked away in here and you don't even have to see the yarn to be pulling it through. So I really loved that. And then there's also compartments here. I use this smaller one for stitch markers and things like that, these for hooks, and then this bigger one for things like your scissors or your tape measure, all of that kind of stuff. So this is a great option, again, for travel, but also just if you're traveling from like your bedroom to your living room. Alright, next type of yarn bag we have is this one. Now the reason I don't use this one as often is because it does only hold like 1 or 2 skeins of yarn depending on the size, right? And it doesn't hold like jumbo sizes. So you kind of have to have like a normal 7-ounce or smaller skein for it to work in here. You could do like 1, 2 of those probably, but that's probably about the max. But it is good if you're working on a project that is using like the same yarn or like just 2 different colors, something like that. And again, there is a zipper here and you can just zip it up, close it in, and there is a hole on this side as well as a hole on this side for you to pull the yarn through. So that's why I say like 2 could work, because you could do 1 here and 1 here. And then there is also little compartments for hooks, again right here, and a zipper compartment, which is going to be really useful for things like stitch markers and all of that. And all of this does roll up and clip together like this, which it may not close if you actually have yarn and things in it, but it does close together for easy storage as well when you're not using it. So I do like this one. It's just not as convenient as something like the other yarn bag, just because I can fit like 4 to 5 skeins in that yarn bag versus only 2 in here. But again, if I'm doing a project where the skeins of yarn are small and I only need like 2, I will still use this one. Now this next one I'm going to mention is something that I've never tried, so I can't tell you if it's a must for me, but I can tell you that a lot of people do use this and like it. So that is a yarn bowl, which I can put a picture up on the screen, and it's basically a bowl that will hold your skein of yarn. And there's normally a little spot where you can just put the yarn into, and it kind of keeps it going as you're working. So that does seem super nice, but I personally don't have one, so I can't tell you if it's something I really feel like is a must. But I think a lot of people would say it is something you need. So something else to think about if you are looking to purchase any of these things. That is it, you guys, for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do give it a big thumbs up. If you guys want to see more videos from me, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below and turn on the post notification bell. That way you know every single time I upload a brand new video. If you guys do want to check out any of the items I shared in this video, there will be links in the description box down below for you guys. And if you guys do want to see more from me, you can check out more videos of mine, my blog, my Etsy shop, my podcast, all of my social medias, and my vlog channel, all linked in the description box down below for you guys as always. And with all of that, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you on this channel on Mondays and Fridays, as well as on my vlog channel on Wednesdays. Goodbye!